Harry's Wife, Part 101.1. The Nemesis is Princess of Wales. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As I explained in the most recent video, as a consequence of my hiatus, for reasons I can't explain to you, there's some catching up to do on recent events surrounding the death of Queen Elizabeth II, subsequent behaviours and reactions thereafter, to help you understand more about narcissism, especially with regard to Harry's wife. The Duchess of Cambridge has become Catherine, Princess of Wales. This is a position that has not been held since Diana, Princess of Wales, died in 1997, some 25 years ago. As you know from previous videos, the Princess of Wales is the nemesis of Harry's wife. But you might ask, why is that? Harry's wife is a narcissist. This has been established through mountains of evidence. This means that she is unconsciously governed by her narcissism with regard to her behaviour involving other individuals, whereby she must seek out control, maintain control, nullify threats to control. She must draw fuel from people, the reaction of others, and fuel manifests in lots of different ways. If you'd like to understand more about that, please read my excellent book, Fuel, which you can find in the Knowledge Vault, details in the video description, or on Amazon. Her narcissism also seeks out, where appropriate, character traits and residual benefits. This narcissism guides her behaviour, her reactions, her thoughts, her feelings when it comes to the involvement of other people. Harry's wife is deluded. She doesn't realise this, but her narcissism creates this in order to compel her to pursue, with the utmost vigour, the prime aims. As part of that delusion, she believes that she is absolutely brilliant at everything that she does, that she has the Midas touch, where, in actual fact, one would suggest that she has the Sadim touch, the reverse of the Midas touch, whereby everything she touches tends to turn to shit rather than to gold. She believes that she is a bananitarian, or in her terms a humanitarian, so that she's an author, a fashion icon. She believes that she brings calm and healing wherever she goes. She believes that all of the trite nonsense that she spouts is earth-shattering revelation. She believes that each speech that she gives is something that people have never heard before, even though it is just a collection of fridge magnet platitudes that are utterly boring and banal. She believes that she's a fantastic entrepreneur, that she'll be a politician and so forth, and this is all driven by the delusion created by her narcissism. Furthermore, she believes, in effect, that she is the embodiment of Diana, Princess of Wales. Why? Diana was a beautiful woman. Classy, graceful. Yes, she had her flaws, but she was a fashion icon. People melted into blubbery messes of blancmange in her presence as they were overtaken by her beauty. She was kind. She was empathic. She brought calm to people. She soothed, in effect, their fevered brows. And she was loved by millions upon millions around the world, and was revered, admired, and worshipped. Furthermore, of course, she was the mother of Prince Harry, and therefore Diana proves a very useful tool in the world of Harry's wife for the purposes of asserting control over Prince Harry as her intimate partner, primary source, he being the main provider of the prime aims to Harry's wife. And of course, the delusion is created so that she believes that in effect she is the embodiment of Diana, so that she can behave in that way. As an extension of that delusion, therefore, she believes that she is Diana, and therefore she should be Princess of Wales. Kate is the Nemesis because she holds an elevated position compared to that of Harry's wife. She's Duchess of Cambridge, and of course will become Queen to Prince William when he is king. Harry's wife believes that she should be Queen. She believes that she should be top of the tree. Catherine is a beautiful woman. Harry's wife will be envious of that. Catherine behaves with grace, humility, kindness, and those behaviours are ones that Harry's wife believes that she embodies, and she wants to be like Catherine in that regard, although can't bring herself to admit that that is what she would like. Furthermore, Catherine always appears well-dressed, that her fashion is elegant, scintillating. Take, for example, the wow of the gold dress. Harry's wife, believing herself to be a fashion icon, is envious of the ease by which Catherine models those dresses and how radiant she looks. Finally, Catherine is popular. Of course, the Sugars regularly throw hatred and vitriol towards her, but beyond those idiots, many people find Catherine a hard-working royal, relatable, and therefore she is very popular. A popularity that Harry's wife believes should be hers and can only dream of. Accordingly, as a consequence of the position adopted by her, her looks, her behaviour, her fashion, and popularity, she embodies all of the things that Harry's wife believes that she is and ought to be, and the manifestation of Catherine through those things poses repeated threats to her control. Thus, she becomes the Nemesis. Each time she appears and does something, it threatens Harry's wife's need for control. She doesn't realise this. It happens at an unconscious level. This is why she repeatedly looks to usurp Catherine in some way, to overshadow her activities, to release a bombshell around the time that Catherine does something, how she reduced her to tears with regard to the dress fitting, and then in classic narcissist behaviour turned that around to suggest that she was the victim and that it was Catherine that had made her cry, a bold-faced lie and revision of history. Matters now, however, have become even worse for Harry's wife, since she believes that she is the embodiment of Diana, and the fact that Catherine now holds the position of Princess of Wales adds the following to the mix. There's a further elevation of status that Harry's wife believes should be hers. Catherine holds a role that Harry's wife believes should be hers also, namely Princess of Wales, because of the connection to Diana. The reaction of people to this appointment. It has largely been favourable, and people have welcomed it, believing that it's only right and proper. All of that, in effect, is fuel going towards Catherine. Catherine isn't a narcissist, and she doesn't need it. But that doesn't matter, because in the unconscious mind of the narcissist, that's a huge waste. Everybody talking about Catherine is wounding Harry's wife. Everybody praising her is wounding Harry's wife. All of those individuals that are lauding the appointment, praising Catherine for her looks, her grace, rejoicing in the fact that she is now Princess of Wales, results in wounding after wounding after wounding, after wounding after wounding after wounding for Harry's wife. It has proven a most turbulent of times for her for a variety of reasons that I'll continue to explain in the forthcoming videos, but we kick off with the very fact that her Nemesis is now Princess of Wales, and everything associated with that creates repeated wounding to Harry's wife. It causes her to feel vulnerable, weakened, small, unimportant, but she doesn't know why. Her narcissism, of course, rides immediately to the rescue. It causes her to feel envious. It ignites her fury. It tells her that it should be her, that she should be the next queen, that she should be Princess of Wales, irrespective of the fact that logically that just cannot happen. But that doesn't matter in the world of Harry's wife. What matters is that the delusion is maintained so that she is motivated to those feelings of envy, hatred, bitterness, fury, to assert control and nullify the repeated threats to control posed by the wounding that she has experienced, and to draw fuel. How has this been happening? Well, of course, her narcissism is not going to guide her to immediately tackle the newspapers or the members of public direct by saying, you don't know what you're talking about, I should be Princess of Wales, Catherine's just a twig, she isn't suited, the clothes don't fit her, etc., etc. She's no Diana. She simply hasn't got time to tackle each and every threat to control directly, whether it's a newspaper headline, somebody speaking in a broadcast segment, or a member of the public expressing their views in social media. Her narcissism simply can't deal with all of that. Therefore, it has to shunt to the indirect assertion of control, which is something that Harry's wife is regularly guided to by her narcissism. And most likely she will have erupted in front of old Ginger Bollocks. Prince Harry will have borne the brunt once again of that ignited fury. He will have perhaps protested by saying, but look, darling, Catherine is always going to be Princess of Wales because of wills. There's nothing that can be done. But of course she's not going to listen to that. She's not going to accept the logic of what Harry has stated. She will shriek and scream, a whirling banshee of ignited fury, quite possibly physically lashing out at Prince Harry as he attempts to explain to her that she can't be Princess of Wales. It doesn't matter in the world of Harry's wife. She cannot listen or accept the reason. There may be pity plays. Why could it not have been me? I'm just as good as her, aren't I? H. And H, of course, definitely taking that forelock and recognising that it's better just to go along with it and explain that he's in agreement, nods and seeks to appease her. There will have been an eruption at this news. It will have caused repeated wounding to Harry's wife, and her narcissism will have remedied the situation by propelling her through the feelings of envy, hatred, bitterness, etc., and the ignition of her fury, to then assert control indirectly in the manner that I have just described. This, of course, will keep popping up. The fact that Catherine is now Princess of Wales, a position that Harry's wife believes that she should have, will, each time it is referenced, will either amount to wounding or challenge fuel, and her narcissism has to deal with that. The problem for her is that if she is in and around William and Catherine, their status as the Prince and Princess of Wales will repeatedly wound, and her narcissism is more likely to direct her to retreat by staying away. Of course, given the fact that they've had to come to the United Kingdom and remained there as a consequence of Queen Elizabeth's death, this means that in effect it's almost like someone's taking her hands and holding them down on the top of a hot oven. She has no choice but to end up being wounded, and then her narcissism corrects the situation. She's not able to retreat fully because of the necessity of attendance in the United Kingdom at the current time. This is a major blow for Harry's wife, the appointment of Catherine as Princess of Wales, and is demonstrative of the deluded mind of the narcissist and demonstrates the reactions thereafter. An excellent example. I'm H.D. Tudor. Thank you for listening.